In the year 1996, something incredible happened in the world of paleontology. It was an event that shattered long-held assumptions about dinosaurs and changed our understanding of these magnificent creatures forever. What had been discovered was the first definitive evidence of feathers on a dinosaur. This find upended decades of scientific thinking and sparked a flurry of research into what feathers may have been like on other dinosaurs. But now, over 2 decades later, we have a better idea of how common feathers were among dinosaurs, and it turns out that they weren't just reserved for the most famous feathered dinosaur of all, the Velociraptor. Welcome to Paleo Logic. Today, we are answering, were dinosaur feathers just for show? As with anything related to dinosaurs, there is no shortage of images and artwork depicting them covered in scales. For instance, this classic illustration of a T-Rex from the original 1993 Jurassic Park novel cover doesn't even include feathers in its conception of what these animals looked like. However, when the movie came around, it seemed like a good idea to add feathers to some of the more closely bird-like dinosaurs, such as the Velociraptors. Yet, despite the fact that this move garnered both praise and criticism at the time, today we know that these feathers were much closer to accurate than not. But why is that? Well, let's rewind the clock to before 1996. Back then, the image scientists had of dinosaurs was one where they were scaly reptilian creatures, much like today's lizards. In fact, many paleontologists at the time thought that dinosaurs were actually reptiles. That is, until they got a hold of this specimen, a relative of Ankylosaurus called Boreopeltacosaurus. It had been unearthed in the fossil-rich Hell Creek Formation in Montana, the same place where the very first dinosaur fossils were found over 100 years prior. And it was this dinosaur that provided the first ever glimpse of feathers preserved on a dinosaur skeleton. The specimen, nicknamed Mr. Fluffy Guy, was so remarkable because it contained multiple features that were completely unprecedented in the fossil record at the time. These included elongated feathers covering its back, tail, and hind legs. But perhaps the most telling feature was a large membrane that extended from its ribs, nearly the size of a human hand, which had clearly been attached to the skin on the dinosaur's body. These discoveries shocked the paleontological community and forced a re-evaluation of what dinosaurs may have actually looked like. This wasn't the first time feathers had been found preserved on a dinosaur. That honor goes to the discovery of a Confuciusornis, a close relative of modern birds that lived during the late Jurassic period. Many other species of feathered dinosaurs have been found since then, including several relatives of the Tyrannosaurus rex. So what was the significance of finding feathers on yet another dinosaur? Well, Boreopelta markmitchelli revealed 3 things that other feathered dinosaurs hadn't quite shown so clearly. First, the presence of feathers on this relatively small, quick-moving herbivore helped confirm that feathers weren't exclusive to large carnivores like the Velociraptor. Second, this new feathered dinosaur showed that feathers weren't just present on theropods or meat-eaters, but on ornithischians or bird-hipped dinosaurs as well. And third, feathers were not limited to just the tail and wings of dinosaurs. In fact, they were present all over their bodies. So, what do we actually know about feathers on dinosaurs? Well, it turns out we know quite a lot. For one, feathers weren't a defining characteristic of any group of dinosaurs, meaning that they evolved independently multiple times. Another surprising thing we've learned is that feathers didn't just come about right before the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs. In fact, feathers are present in dinosaurs as far back as the Triassic period, hundreds of millions of years before their demise. So what purpose did these feathers serve? When they first appeared, some researchers believed that feathers were only used for display, specifically to attract mates. But this hypothesis fell apart when we realized that dinosaurs with feathers were present all over the world, indicating that sexual selection couldn't have been the driving force behind their evolution. Instead, feathers likely served a variety of purposes. Some dinosaurs, especially those that lived in cold climates, probably used feathers for insulation, much like mammals use fur. Others used them for display, camouflage, or even nest building. Now, feathers aren't the only soft tissue that has been preserved in dinosaurs. Fossilized skin impressions show that many dinosaurs had scales too. So it seems that these magnificent creatures had both feathers and scales, kind of like modern crocodiles. In fact, crocodiles are our closest living relatives to dinosaurs. So studying their anatomy can give us clues as to what dinosaurs might have looked like. Crocodiles also use their teeth for crushing and tearing through flesh, so they play a crucial role in their ecosystems by helping to break down dead animals. However, crocodilians are often targeted by humans who hunt them for their skin and mistakenly believe that they are a threat to humans. Okay, back to the topic at hand. In 2020, a series of new studies shed light on the diversity of feathers that existed among dinosaurs. One study published in the journal PNAS revealed that feathers on different parts of a dinosaur's body could have different functions. Using advanced imaging techniques, researchers were able to see that feathers on the arms and wrists of a Microraptor were particularly flexible, suggesting that they were used for gliding. Meanwhile, the feathers on its tail were stiff and pointed outward, possibly to help with balance. A second study published in the same issue of PNAS showed that the famous Sinosauropteryx, a relative of the Velociraptor, had a type of feather that was previously unknown in dinosaurs. These feathers had long, pointed barbs that resembled the bristles on a brush. This discovery suggests that feathers may have played a larger role in the evolution of dinosaurs than previously thought. And finally, a third study published in the journal Acta Paleontologica Polonica revealed that feathers were even more widespread among dinosaurs than we thought. The authors of the study examined a group of dinosaurs known as ornithomimids, a group of strange dinosaurs with long necks and tiny heads that lived during the late Cretaceous period. The analysis of 2 ornithomimid skeletons revealed that these dinosaurs had feathers covering most of their bodies, including their heads, necks, and tails. The discovery of feathers in these dinosaurs was surprising because they were thought to be more closely related to mammals than birds. This finding suggests that feathers may have been a common adaptation among many groups of dinosaurs, rather than just a unique feature of birds and their close relatives. In recent years, feathers have become a common sight on dinosaurs in museums and on TV shows like Jurassic World. But it wasn't until 1996 that we had hard evidence that feathers once adorned these magnificent creatures. Since then, we've learned that feathers weren't just for show. They served a variety of purposes, from insulation to display to nest building, and they were present on dinosaurs all over the world. Whether your favorite dinosaur had feathers or not, one thing is for sure, they were truly magnificent creatures that continue to amaze us today. So what do you think? Were dinosaur feathers just for show? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'd also like to thank our supporters for making videos like this possible. If you would like to see your name on the screen and contribute to the production of Paleo Logic, go to our support page to learn more. From all of us here at Paleo Logic, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.